will see two topics. First one is the cluster analysis introduction, and second one is the different types of clustering. So first, cluster analysis. What is meant by cluster analysis? Cluster analysis divides data into groups that are meaningful, useful, or both. If meaningful groups are the goal, then the clusters should capture the natural structure of the data. In some cases, cluster analysis is only a useful starting point for other purposes such as data summarization. Okay, so first we will see what is meant by this. Okay, so see the figure. The figure can be divided into four parts. Part A is the original data points, part B is the 6 clusters, part C 2 clusters, part D 4 clusters. So in part A, original data points, the total data point, there are 20 data points in the figure A. So there is no question of dividing into clusters. Why? Because the data can be, the entire data consists of similar data items. That's why original data points, that figure part A, there is no need of division into clusters. Okay, so in part B we will see there are 6 clusters. So cluster 1 consists of reflected triangles. Three reflected triangles are there. So cluster 2 consists of 4 plus symbols. Cluster 3 consists of 3 circles. Cluster 4 consists of 3 star symbols. Cluster 5 consists of 4 diamond symbols. Cluster 6 consists of 3 squares. So in part B we will see, so each and every cluster consists of some data elements. Those may are having different shapes. So one is a triangle shape, one is a plus shape, one is circle shape, one is a diamond, square, and star. Different types of shapes are there. So but here there are 6 clusters. Each and every cluster consists of some data elements. Those data elements within cluster are more similar. So and in each and every clusters, the clusters consist of the data elements. Those data elements are similar within the cluster. So and those data elements are dissimilar to elements within the other cluster. So for example, we will see, so in the cluster 2 we are having plus symbols. In cluster 3 we are having circle symbols. Okay, so in cluster 2 all plus symbols are similar. So and in cluster 3 all circle symbols are similar. So but plus symbols are completely different from circle symbol. So and completely not related to circle symbols. So this means, so here we can see the data elements in one cluster, those are completely unrelated to data elements that are in the other cluster. So in all clusters the data elements that are having different shapes. So clusters within the the elements within the cluster are having the same shape. Elements in different clusters are having different shapes. So in part C we will see data can be divided into 2 clusters. So cluster 1 consists of square symbols. Cluster 2 consists of triangle symbols. So next, in figure part D we will see cluster A consists of cluster 1, or cluster 1 consists of reflected triangles. Cluster 2 consists of plus symbols. Cluster 3 consists of star symbols. Cluster 4 consists of diamond symbols. So here by seeing the following figure we can say that the data elements totally divided based on any useful feature, so or meaningful feature, are both, as above we can see. Okay, so the total data can be divided into different clusters. So each and every cluster is nothing but a group that consists of data elements that are similar to each other. So and dissimilar to other groups. So each and every cluster is dissimilar to other cluster. Okay. So next, cluster analysis groups data objects based only on information found in the data that describes the objects and their relationships. The goal is that objects within the group will be more similar or more related to one another, so and different from the objects in other groups. Okay, already we discussed that. So in the figures we can clearly observe that each and every cluster that is having some elements, those are similar to each other within cluster and dissimilar to elements in the other cluster. So next we will see, in many applications the notion of a cluster is not well defined. So we are having several applications, we will see further. So in the several applications, the main notion of the cluster is not well defined. To understand the difficulty of deciding what constitutes a cluster, consider the following figure showing 20 points and 3 different ways of dividing them into a cluster. Okay, so here in the figure we will see so how the data can be divided into several clusters. So figure part A, original data points are there. So there is no aspect of division of data into clusters, dividing data into clusters here. So in part A, why? Because all elements are having the same shape. There is no dissimilarity. So considering figure B, we will see different clusters are having different shapes. Here the data elements are having different shapes. Based on the shape, we will divide the data into different clusters. Okay, so we already divided, so the data can be divided into 6 clusters. Next, data can be divided into 2 clusters. Next, data can be divided into 4 clusters. This is a purely depend on the data element nature, that is a shape. Okay, the nature may be different. We will see in further we will see the nature may be the density, the nature may be the other different features, hierarchical features. Based on those features we will divide the data into different clusters. Okay, next, so the definition of a cluster is imprecise, and that the best definition depends on the nature of the data and desired results. Okay, here we will see the definition depends on the nature of the data. So here in the above diagram we have seen only the shape. Based on the shape, the data can be divided into different clusters. In the part B, we have seen 6 clusters, part C 2 clusters, part D 4 clusters. This is exactly the clustering can be done based on the shape of the data elements. Okay, so not only the shape we will divide based on the different features. Those all features we will see further. Okay, that is about the clustering. So we have clarity on the clustering. So how the clustering can be done, how the data can be divided into different clusters. So original data points are there, those can be divided into 6 clusters. So again 2 clusters, 4 clusters based on the shape. Okay, so next we will go into the types of clustering, different types of clusterings. An entire collection of clusters is commonly referred to as clustering, and the various types of clusterings are, so different types of clusterings are there. So first we will see, so first one, hierarchical versus partitional clustering. Second, exclusive versus overlapping versus fuzzy clustering. So next, third one, complete versus partial clustering. Okay, so first we will see hierarchical versus partitional clustering. So what is meant by hierarchical clustering? So what is meant by partitional clustering? We will see. So then what is the difference between those two? So first we will see partitional clustering. So partitional clustering is a division of a set of data objects into non-overlapping subjects, so such that each data object is in exactly one subset. Okay, so in figure we can see, so first in part A we will see the original data points. So in part B we will see how the original data points can be um, divided into different clusters based on a partitional feature. So how the data can be divided into clusters based on the partitional feature. Okay, so in partitional based on partitional feature. Okay, so in partitional clustering, each and every data item in the cluster that is related to only one cluster. So for example, in partitional clustering here, the data items can be divided into three clusters. So in cluster 1, cluster 2, cluster 3. So in cluster 1 we are having 5 data elements. Cluster 2 we are having again 2 plus 2, 4 plus 2, 6 data elements. In cluster 3 we are having 5 data elements. Okay, so in cluster 1 the data elements, 5 data elements are there, so that each and every element that is related to cluster 1 only. So in cluster 2 also the data elements, 6 data elements, those are related to cluster 2 only. Next, 5 data elements in cluster 3, those related to cluster 3 only. Here clearly we are seeing that, so in partitional clustering, each data element that belongs to only one cluster. So cluster 1, 5 elements, those 5 elements completely related to cluster 1 only. So in cluster 2 we are having 6 elements, those 6 elements completely related to cluster 2 only. So like that in cluster 3 also, so we are having 5 elements, those 5 elements exactly related to cluster 3 only. Any item that is not related to 2 clusters. Okay, so in the figure we can clearly observe, so each and every item or each and every data element that is related to only one cluster at a time, that is nothing but the partitional clustering. So now we will see what is meant by hierarchical clustering. Okay, so hierarchical clustering. Now we are seeing hierarchical clustering. If we permit clusters to have subclusters, then we obtain hierarchical clustering. So hierarchical meant by, we already know, hierarchical is nothing but level by level. So here, which is a set of nested clusters. Nested clusters means one cluster within another cluster, so that are organized as a tree. A hierarchical clustering is often displayed graphically using a tree like diagram called dendrogram, which displays both the cluster subcluster relationships and the order in which the clusters were merged. Okay, so in hierarchical clustering, we are seeing in two figures. In first figure we will see, so there are 4 points. So P2, P3 related to cluster 1. So next, so this cluster 1 is in cluster 2. So cluster 2, in cluster 2 we are having 3 points, P2, P3 and P4. So in cluster 2 we are having, so cluster 1 also. Okay, so in cluster 3 again we are having cluster 2 and cluster 1. So cluster 3 consists of P1, P2, P3, P4, all data points. Okay, so cluster 3 consists of cluster 2, cluster 2 consists of cluster 1. So here we can easily observe that this is nothing but nested condition. Nested is nothing but one within another. So here one cluster that is reside in another cluster. Okay, so in the figure we will see the cluster P2, P3, that is the inner cluster. So next we are having P2, P3 cluster that is in another cluster, that is cluster 2, that consists of So P4 and P3 P2 also. So next cluster 3. Okay, so that is uh, next level cluster. It consists of P1 and also P4 P3 P2 points. Okay, so here in hierarchical clustering we observe that so P2 P3 related to cluster 1. So for example we can see cluster 1 or cluster A, whatever it be the we can just let us consider any name. Okay, so P2 P3 related to cluster A. Then P4, so that is a cluster B. So next P1, so again P1, P4 and P3 P2 also that consists of. Okay, so cluster A that consists of P2 P3 elements only. Cluster B consists of P4 P3 and P2. Okay, here the problem arises. Okay, so in hierarchical clustering we will see so P2 P3 related to cluster A. So and for cluster B also P2 P3 related, cluster C also P2 P3 related. So here we will see a data item that is related to more than one cluster. So cluster A that is that consists of P2 P3, cluster B that consists of P2 P3, and also cluster C that consists of again P2 P3. Same P2 P3 data elements that are related to more than one cluster. So that is nothing but hierarchical clustering. So that is the main difference between this partitional clustering and hierarchical clustering. So in partitional clustering, the data elements are divided into different clusters, each and every cluster having some elements, though those elements are not at all related to other clusters. Okay, so but here in hierarchical clustering, so the data elements within one cluster, so that are related to other cluster also. Okay, the data elements related to more than one cluster at a time. So that is nothing but the hierarchical clustering. So we will see dendrogram representation or okay, we have seen dendrogram representation. Now we will see the tree representation. So in tree we will see P2 P3. Okay, those are completely so one cluster. Those are represented as one cluster here also. One subpart of a tree. Next, P4 can be combined to that P4 and P2 P3. Those completely this is one cluster. So and in turn this is combined with P1. So completely again this is one cluster. Okay, so in turn this is combined as a one cluster. So like that here P2 P3 first comes under one cluster. So and again P2 P3 related to other cluster also by combining P4. So again P2 P3 related to other cluster. So by combining P1 also. Okay, so that is the hierarchical clustering. Now we will see the exclusive versus overlapping versus fuzzy clustering. So what is meant by exclusive clustering? If we can assign each object to a single cluster, then that clustering is exclusive clustering. Okay, so each object to a single cluster. Okay, so part of object here not at all that aspect is there here. Okay, so only one object that is within a single cluster, exclusively that is related to one cluster only. That particular data item not at all related to other cluster. So that is nothing but exclusive clustering. Next we will see non-exclusive clustering or overlapping clustering. Okay, above we have seen already. So if a data object can be placed in more than one cluster, then it results in overlapping or non-exclusive clustering. Okay, so for example some data elements are there, those are divided into one cluster. So data items are there, those can be divided into another cluster. One cluster is overlapping with another cluster, so then that is the overlapping cluster. Okay, in that particular case, overlapping one cluster, for example, we are representing a cluster with a circle shape. One circle, within one circle we are having 10 data items, within another circle we are having 10 data items. So those two are combined, those two are overlapped. So then commonly we are having, for example, two data items commonly we are having. So those two data items related to cluster 1 and cluster 2 also. So actually we are having entirely we are having so 18 data items are there. So then 8 items are belong to exactly cluster 1. So that is in exclusive cluster we can observe that. Okay, so 8 items related to exclusively cluster 2. So but commonly those are having 2 items. So those 2 items related to cluster 1 and cluster 2 also. Okay, so totally we are having 18 elements. So in those 18 elements, cluster 1 is having 8 elements, cluster 2 is having 8 elements. So and those two clusters are overlapped. In the overlapping part we are having 2 data items. Those 2 data items related to cluster 1 and also cluster 2. So that is the case of overlapping clustering, so or non-exclusive clustering. Next we will see fuzzy clustering. So what is meant by fuzzy? So fuzzy meant by the word itself indicating. So fuzzy is nothing but the data can be whatever maybe the data. So the data can be represented by values. Those values only between 0 to 1. In fuzzy clustering, every object belongs to every cluster with a membership weight that is between 0 and 1. Here clusters are treated as fuzzy sets. Here weights must sum to 1. Okay, so every object it is having some value. So the total objects, total items values are combined. So for example, those values are only 0 to 1. So if a cluster is having 4 elements, so for first element value is 0.2, second element value is 0.2, third element value is 0.1, fourth element value is 0.2. So then we are having total 4 elements, sum is 0.7. Okay, so then that is not at all comes under fuzzy clustering. So why? Because in fuzzy clustering every object belongs to every cluster with a membership weight that is between 0 and 1. So here clusters are treated as fuzzy sets. Here weights must sum to 1. Okay, so other condition is within cluster we are having so 4 elements or 5 elements or 6 elements, there is no problem. So but all elements sum must be equal to 1. So 4 elements are there. So then first element value 0.2, second element value 0.3, third element value 0.3, fourth element value 0.2. So then total sum is equal to 1. So then it is comes under the clustering, comes under fuzzy clustering. Okay, next we will see complete versus partial clustering. So complete clustering assigns every object to a cluster, whereas partial clustering does not. Okay, some objects in dataset may not belong to a well-defined groups, and in some cases we only want to cluster sum of data. Okay, so here in a complete clustering we will see, so data items are all data items, whatever may be the number, all data items, those are participate in any clusters. Okay, So if we are having 10 data items or 20 data items, those 20 data items participates in any cluster. There is a complete clustering. Partial clustering means that our data items, so for example 20 data items are there, so in those 20 data items only 15 or 16, whatever may be the number, so if it may be 19 also, so only 19 data items are related to any cluster. So one item is not related to any cluster, that is completely independent of the other clusters. So then that is not a complete clustering technique, that is related to partial clustering. So complete clustering means the elements that are divided into groups, so all elements, all data items, those can be related to any cluster. Okay, so without relating to any clusters, there is no such case in complete clustering technique. So in partial clustering, some data elements are idle. Okay, so these are the different types of clustering techniques. Okay, now in today's class we have seen, so what is meant by clustering. Okay, what is meant by clustering, what is meant by cluster analysis, how we can do the clustering, so different types of clustering. So based on the shape, how the data can be divided into different clusters. Okay, data can be divided into different clusters or groups. Okay, how the clustering can be done, that we have seen. Next we have seen types of clusterings. So hierarchical versus partitional. So what is the difference between hierarchical and partitional? Next, what is meant by exclusive clustering? Next, overlapping clustering and fuzzy clustering. So what is the difference between them? Next, we have seen what is the complete clustering and what is the partial clustering. Okay, so next in the next class we will see different types of clusters. So we are having different types of clusters, those different types of clusters we will see. So next we will see different algorithms. Okay, so in the next class mostly we will see the types of clusters. So and in further classes we will see the algorithms. Okay, so k-means algorithm we are having. So and we are having agglomerative clustering algorithm. So first in k-means we have to see, so what are the different issues in k-means algorithm. Next we will see additional issues also. We will see some additional issues in k-means algorithm. Next, bisecting k-means algorithm, how we have to divide k-means algorithm using k-means strategy, how we have to divide data into different clusters. Next, strengths and weakness of k-means algorithm. Okay, so about entire k-means we will see in one class. Next we will see in another class, we will see agglomerative hierarchical clustering. So there is algorithm is there. So min max method, these group average, these all comes under agglomerative hierarchical clustering. So we will see that. Next we will see DB scan algorithm. Okay, that is the another algorithm, agglomerative hierarchical clustering algorithm. So next one is the DB scan algorithm. Okay, that we will see in the another class. Okay, so DB scan algorithm, that is in one class, and agglomerative hierarchical clustering algorithm, that is in another class, and k-means algorithm, completely entire k-means algorithm we will see in one class. Okay, so 3 classes plus the types of clusters we will see. So that we will see in one class, that is a 3 plus 1, again 4 classes. Okay, so we will see entire remaining topics in 4 classes.